Hey y'all, welcome back to the Good and Well Soul podcast. I'm Kim.
What's up, people? I'm Dishon, and thank you for being our guest as we seek to inspire hope and equip individuals and families on an all-encompassing wellness journey to spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical wholeness.
Yes.
Today, we are having our official CDC episode, Camping During COVID. Dun, dun, dun. I've got a couple props here. Stuff I wish I would have had when we were camping.
We had that.
We didn't have this when we went. I got this just a little while ago.
I bought one.
Oh, you did?
Yes, we had one there.
Where was it?
In one of the clear bins.
Well, that one has
I think it was like a multi-tool one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I bought one.
You may have. That one has a holster though, so I can strap it to my belt.
A holster.
You guys will know why I need to strap it to my belt a little bit later. We'll get to that later in the episode.
Okay.
So, we are talking about our first camping experience. What was the occasion, honey?
So it was my birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday to you.
So first of all, why are we talking about camping as a part of a podcast that has to do with wellness?
Because you was on your Lenny Kravitz. You just want to get away. You want to fly away.
That is very accurate.
Yeah.
That's very accurate. It was COVID, September, so we had been 6 months into COVID. Like if you really think of like March when it fully hit. And I wanted to get away. I wanted to fly away. Yes.
And we wasn't getting on no plane, so we just had to drive somewhere.
And I'd always wanted to go camping too. That's always been one of my things I wanted to do. We had actually tried to plan a camping trip in 2019 or 20? I want to say it was 2018. It was 2018. We were supposed to go camping the fall of 2018. We were going to go with my brother and his wife, but he had a wrestling gig, and then the weekend that we were both available was homecoming weekend, and so we can't go.
Yeah.
And we just kind of postponed it, and then it didn't happen. So, September 2020.
Yeah. And I'm surprised I've never gone camping. As much of an outdoorsman as my dad is, a fisher and a hunter, camping just was never on his radar for whatever reason.
Yeah. Well, I know it wasn't on my parents' radar. Yeah. I asked them if they wanted to go camping. They laughed in my face. I was like, y'all want to go camping with us? They were like, no. Y'all can go on out there in the woods if you want to. I mean, we did go on summer camps. So as a kid in the summertime, we'd go on a summer camp with our church. But it wasn't the same as a tent. So when we say we went camping, we legit went camping. So we wanted to have the whole experience. This was not a glamping. This was a...
Oh, no glamping.
Bamping.
We were roughing it.
Glamping.
We were hamping. We were hood camping.
Oh my gosh. No.
We weren't hood camping?
No.
Okay. I left my do-rag.
I mean, that don't make it hood to me. That's just us.
I did have my brush, and my brush fell into the dirt at one point.
Ew. Wait, do you still use that brush?
I don't know. I need to buy new brushes anyway, but
ugh.
I think I sprayed it with Lysol.
That's gross.
Or something.
Anyway, so I wanted to go camping for my birthday. It was part of this whole wellness, trying something new. I think one of the things that COVID taught us was that you just can't really put off things till tomorrow.
Yeah.
And granted, we wanted to be super safe and COVID responsible, as I'm seeing people talk about now. Even though the things they're doing is saying COVID responsible, I feel like it's just a hashtag. They are not COVID responsible.
And we were the only ones wanting to be COVID responsible, which we learned once we got there.
Yes. Okay, so first, backtrack. Preparation.
Whew. Thank God for you.
Oh, thank God for me.
Because you prepared. I just kept coming home, and I would see stuff in the garage like, what is this? What is this? Where did this come from?
Yeah, so I like to prepare for things. I like to be just prepared. You would think I was a Girl Scout or something. So I had gone on some websites. I'd been reading all the blogs about camping and what you need to do to prep. I had this exhaustive list. I mean, this list was crazy. And I made it my business to like get everything on the list because the only thing we had for camping was tents. We had tents, and those were like Vacation Bible School props from many years ago that I had just purchased. So I was like, we're going to keep these tents and one day we'll go camping. So fast forward, like it's probably like 8 years ago. We still have these tents, but I had nothing else. And I thought it was going to be like cheap. I don't know if you knew the totals, but
I didn't pay attention.
I mean, I made a budget, and I think the budget was like $300. It wasn't like a lot. And my thought process was, okay, well, whatever we're getting for this trip, you know, if we continue a lifestyle of camping and like that could potentially be like a family vacation. I had talked to this lady at my old job. Shout out to Miss Bingley. And she talked about how she used to always take her kids camping, you know, every year. And that was a little getaway for them. So I'm thinking, hey, I want to do a family vacation every year. If we don't have any money, we can buy this stuff one time and we can use it at least once a year, and that can be our thing. So
so you prepared and you did all the shopping, and by the time it was time for us to leave and I gathered all the things, I found that we had a living room full of stuff that we had to fit into our little Ford Escape.
I may have overdone it a smidge.
Yeah, a smidge. It was stuff we didn't even open.
But see, I would rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And so I had the list of like the basics, the essentials, and then the would be good to have, would be nice to have, you know. So I did have all of that stuff. And I remember you and Dad talking about me. I remember y'all were in cahoots. Yeah, this girl got all of this stuff. I'm gonna get all this in the car. I heard y'all. But I didn't care. Remember, I had all that water.
Oh my Lord! I almost forgot about all the water.
I did too. I think we still
like 12 gallons.
I think we still have a bunch of water in Mama's in our garage.
Lord. She had water like if we was gonna have to bathe out there.
So I didn't know because we got a primitive site, and so I know it said water was on site, but I was thinking, well, you know, emergency. What if something happens with the water? What if we don't like the way the spigot looks or something? What if it's too far to walk? Exactly. So I felt like it would behoove us to have multiple gallons. And then I read some article about you got to have like a gallon a day to drink
per person.
So I had that gallon. Then I think I figured then it was like you have to have a gallon a day to cook with or something like that. I don't know. I may have made that up. Then you have to have a gallon to bathe with or something per person. So I had like all the gallons of water.
You did. And we got it all in that car. And we couldn't see out the back. But we got everything in the car, including Joseph in his car seat. Our 4-year-old at the time. Now he's 5.
He was so excited.
Yep. So... Where did we go? I forgot the name of the place.
I was going to ask you, and I should have looked it up before.
Was it Mark Twain or something?
No, I don't think I would have went to none Mark Twain. I mean, you know, he's from Missouri. Where did I go? I'm about to try to look it up real fast.
Okay.
Let me see, camp reservation.
We went a ways off though, y'all. It was a couple hours. It wasn't just right down the street. We could have gone down the street. We thought about going down the street.
We did.
There is a park right next to our house where we live now. We weren't living in this house during the camping trip. We were in the process of buying this house. There's a park right next to our house now that you can camp in. There are parks 20, 30 minutes from us that you can camp in. We thought about those too. But at the end of the day, we had to get away. We had to fly away. Yeah. Where was it?
We went to Sam Baker Park.
Sam Baker.
And that was in, what is it? Like a mid-Missouri or... The Ozarks. It was the Ozarks region. Mm-hmm. That's right.
Which is a large region in Missouri. If you're not familiar, the Ozarks is like saying Missouri. Pretty much all of Missouri is the Ozarks.
No, it's not.
Almost all of it. If it ain't St. Louis or Kansas City, it's the Ozarks.
I don't know how accurate that is. But we went to the Sam Baker Park in the Ozarks region. And we weren't going to go camping at this park. The other option was one that was like in St. Charles. Yeah. That's what the other option was. Did you say that already?
I did.
Oh, sorry. I was really Googling.
Well, you were Googling.
Okay. So we went to Sam A. Baker Park. And what do you want to talk about when we arrived?
So we got there and...
No, we first of all, we cannot get anywhere on time. We are notorious. I feel like before I got married, I used to be a timely individual. I used to be prompt. I would leave early. I was one of those people, like, if you arrive on time, you're late. Like, that was me. After marriage,
What are you trying to say?
Something changed. There was a shift. I got to say that right. A shift in the atmosphere. And we can't get nowhere on time.
I don't know what it is.
But we left way too late. I had a whole agenda and time that we were supposed to leave. I think we left like 3 hours after that. And so by the time we got on the road, and it was like a 3 hour or so drive. I can't really remember.
2 or 3.
Yeah. By the time we got on the road, it was already it was like 4 and we were supposed to leave at like noon. So yeah, we knew that when we got there, it would be dusk.
Oh yeah. We had to put the hammer down once we got there. We pulled up and it was probably about 20 minutes till sundown.
Oh my gosh.
So we jumped out the whip, as Tadashi say. I don't know what Kim was doing with Joseph. She was being a great mom and keeping him distracted while I rolled out tarps and I put up tents.
We were unpacking too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was helping to unpack. We were unpacking like the cooking supplies or, just like the table. He helped unpack like games and things like that. Chairs.
So needless to say, the sun starts setting on your boy. I think I may have gotten the first tent up, the main tent that we were sleeping in.
You did. You got it
by
up.
the time the sun was down. And then I had to... I put up Joseph's tent, which Joseph's tent was really a prop because you couldn't zip it up. But it was more just so he could feel like he
shelter.
Had a space.
Yeah. Which he didn't care. He wanted to be in the tent we were in.
Well, of course, we knew that. He was sleeping with us just because we didn't want him to be mountain lion food or anything like that. There were no mountain lions.
But the crazy thing is that when we got there and we pull up, everybody else is chillaxing. So they've been there. You could tell they've been there about 6 hours. They got their stuff set up. The food smelling all good. Little chilies over the fire or whatever they were cooking. It was smelling so good. And then when we pulled up, there was the space that I truly believe was our designated space, which had spot for hammocks, which we brought that we could not use. This family, this sprawling family, had like this, what's that book? I think the character is like Sam. It's like one of those books where the falcon, the bird, and the boy Sam Gribbly.
You talking about
up in the mountain?
Oh my Lord.
I don't know. One of those survivor stories. They had like a setup that would rival like the Hatchet.
Hatchet, is that what it was?
No, it wasn't that one. No. I know that one for sure. But it was horrible. They took like all of our space. I think that was our space. They had it was like 4 trees and they had tied hammocks and not even like real hammocks, tarps. They had tarps and string and they were all strung. I didn't want to say it the way I was going to say it. They were all up in those trees And it was a lot of them. And they had dogs.
It was Hammock City.
It was.
And they had netting over their hammocks.
Yes, they had a house, like a tree house.
It was some of it was like translucent and some of it was opaque. So it was like once they got up in their hammock, you couldn't see.
It was creepy.
Like it almost looked like something from a sci-fi movie. Like aliens were gonna come out those hammocks.
It looked like something from a horror film to me.
Well, we were in the woods.
Okay.
Crystal Lake.
Ooh. Dishon is working feverishly to get the tent set up because that's important. And people are looking at us arrive like, Here come the coloreds, all late.
Were we supposed to say that?
Sorry.
I might have to edit that out. Oh, boy.
Sorry. That is how I felt like they were looking, though. So when we arrived, the first thing I thought, I was really excited. And then when I saw the other people set up with all of their supplies, honestly, I just started thinking, did we make a mistake?
God bless you.
Immediately, I was like, why did I do this? Why do I be wanting to do these things? Kim, you always have these grandiose ideas. Like I started going through. You always want to have this idyllic life and do all of this stuff. You just need to stay your little butt back in Florissant, back in St. Louis. Oh my gosh, I was so scared. I ain't gonna lie.
Here's the thing though, honey. I felt bad for you. Cause I'm like, what was her expectation?
And that's what you said.
We had a whole conversation the next day just about just culture, and I'm like, what did my wife expect when we went to this campsite? Did she think it was gonna be like, Andre was over here camping and Shakisha was over here camping?
I don't think I thought it was going to be okay. I had a strong feeling that we would be the only black people. Just to be clear, we were the only black people.
It was 2 speckles, 2 sprinkles.
No, we saw them the next day.
Yeah.
And they were on the opposite side of this very large park.
And they were not with
And
black
they were
people.
not attached with black people.
They weren't together either.
We were the only black people.
And another black person.
We were. And when I pulled up, and it's late, and all we see are white people, and it wasn't even just like white people that you might work with. We're in Missouri. We've now traveled to the rural area of Missouri.
How you say that again?
Rural. It was a different culture. It wasn't just that we were the only black people. We've been in spaces before where we're the only black people. I think it was we're the only black people in a completely different culture. And that scared the crap out of me. Because all I'm thinking is I done brought my son into this and I'm looking at these trees. And honestly, like all jokes aside, I looked at those trees and I thought, what if they all decide that they want to do some big MAGA rally? I'm for real. And they want to go to the extreme and see what it was like to lynch somebody. Literally, that's what I was thinking. Now, I know that's kind of far-fetched, but it did not seem far-fetched when you saw and when you drove up. It wasn't like friendly, like, hey there, how you doing? No, it was like...
But see, even though I've never been camping, I wasn't thrown off because going hunting. So like we didn't get in a tent, but we went in cabins. And I mean, going hunting was the first time I ever had white gravy. I learned there it's called sawmill gravy. And so I'm around all these people who don't look like me, and they've got guns and they've got dogs and. For whatever reason, I guess because I was with my dad, I never thought twice about it,
If I had Joe Knox... Oh, I put his whole name out there.
It's all right.
If I had your dad with us that night when we were camping, I feel like I would have felt different too.
Yeah.
I would have felt so safe. Because he probably would have had been packing some stuff. I remember I told you to pack some stuff. Remember that?
I'm gonna have to buy some stuff to pack because my stuff's too big to pack.
We could have packed the big stuff.
Oh my Lord.
I don't care. Pack something. But I just felt like exposed, and it wasn't a good feeling because I was really excited about the trip and just the experience camping for the first time. So for me to get there And immediately I'm met with, oh, this is why Black people don't always get outdoors. You know, this is why our parents and our grandparents and our great-grandparents, we didn't grow up, well, you did grow up going and doing your stuff, but I didn't grow up going camping, going out in the woods, hiking and kayaking and all these things. That wasn't our experience.
Yeah. But I think we even talked about that next day, just how even back in like the 60s and 70s, Black folks couldn't even reserve camping sites and stuff like that. So it wasn't even just that like we couldn't go because it was unfamiliar or because we didn't want to. It's because we weren't able to. It's almost like redlining, I guess, for camping.
I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and for me, I feel like lynching, that's real. Like when Black people were brutalized and killed and they were found hanging from trees in remote areas. I mean, we still, you know, when we go places or a retreat site or whatever, and we're driving through remote areas, we're concerned. We're making sure our phones are charged. We're making sure people know where we are. So to then, and that's just when you're going straight through. So it was a culture shock for me, and I feel like I was hit with the reality of our history as a people, and it really tainted the experience and colored it in a negative light for me, because I was kind of going into it with all this joy and excitement, and then getting there, it was just like a slap in the face. Yeah.
But you were able to reclaim your joy.
Did I?
You did. You had fun on the first night. You had
absolutely.
fun on the second day and
But it was
second night.
I did have fun, but the thoughts never left. I was never able to let my guard down. I feel like the entire experience, I was just, my guards were up, I guess. You know, so even like us having to have that conversation while we were there, I didn't want to have that conversation. I wanted to enjoy the outdoors, you know? So.
Yeah. Well, let's tell them about the festivities of the first night.
Yes. Well, the good thing is, what I love about it was our son was only 4 and so we had prepped for this camping trip. So I had gotten all these books from the library about camping. Oh my goodness. And we had been like reading books. We had been just doing a bunch of stuff to just kind of prep. So he is fully engaged in this experience. We had, of course, we had s'mores. I had grandiose ideas about what I was going to cook, but the hot dogs were clutch. And we had s'mores, and just sitting by the campfire was so much fun.
Yeah. Ooh, can I backtrack real quick to set up? So the setup night, so we bought these air mattresses. And the box for the air mattress said pump included. So I'm like, oh snap, cool. This air mattress got an electric pump inside that I'm just gonna plug it in and because JoJo has a mattress that has the pump included, and when you plug it into it, it's real nice. But I opened this up, and the pump included also doubles as a pillow. And so I'm not sure how many of you are old school enough to remember what bellows are, the things that you go shh, and they used to use them in fireplaces. But you had to basically take this pillow bag and use it as bellows. So you would take it and you would flap it and get air in there, and then you would close it up and attach it to the mattress and then roll it until the air pushed into the mattress.
No one can see your hands, by the way.
Oh, until the air pushed into the mattress. And so I figured this out, and I'm inside the tent. It's dark at this point. I got my headlamp on. I meant to bring my headlamp up here so y'all can see it. But I just started laughing, and Kim was like, what? And I said, this is hilarious. But at this point, it's dark, and it's like we setting up this camp. It's like, whatever, man. We're going to get this thing going. And once I saw the mattresses were inflating, I was like, okay, cool, whatever. I'm just going to be up in here flapping like I'm a big old crane. but we got the mattresses in there, and our tent was just big enough to fit the 2 twin size mattresses side by side. So we had us a queen bed inside our tent. So
yeah, I'm glad you did that. Because remember, oh my gosh, the deliberations inside of Walmart, man. Yeah. You remember I called you and I was in there like, do we just get the sleeping bags or do we get the air mattress? But that definitely added a nice little layer of cushion that thank you for flapping and inflating those.
I'll flap for you any day, honey.
Thank you. And you know what? Also, the reason why our tent was so schmedium is because we have a tent that'll fit like 8 people, but we were packing to move. And so when we were packing, we didn't take into account that we wanted to also go camping. So our big tent was like at the back, below. We didn't even know where it was, just inside of some storage facility. So we brought the one. How many people did it say it fit our tent? Did it say 4?
It said 2.
It said 2?
2.5, something like that. I don't know.
What's 2.5?
Joseph.
I think it said 2, and then we just thought, we could throw Joey in with us. Yeah. But if you're going to go camping and you want a pleasant experience, I would suggest not doing the 2-person tent. I mean, it was fine, but it definitely would have been nice to have a little bit more
room to stand up and walk around. The 2-person, you just climbing up in that bad boy. Yeah. The big tents, you could stand up and walk around in your tent.
And that was the other thing that made me feel awkward because I was like, man, we out here. They got the tent city, the hammock city set up. The people on the other side of us had like these great tents. And I'm like, man, I don't want us. We got this little punk tent. You know what I'm saying? Even though we had a big boy tent, I was like, man.
The little tent was in storage too, though. I had to climb through the storage. Thankfully, I worked at FedEx for a while, and so I knew how to pack that storage tight. So I was climbing through the storage looking for the tent. I pulled it out. I ain't see the other one, so I was like, man, we're going to make it work.
We did. And honestly, though, the good thing about having that small tent was it felt so cozy.
It was so warm in that tent.
It was so just, oh, man. It felt like you were just alone. And for me, an introvert, like I love that feeling. I felt safe inside the tent, and I felt like just wrapped up in warmness.
Oh yeah. So when we went to bed that night, Joseph got into the tent, and he thought the air mattresses were the jumping jacks that you have at the block party. So he just jumping and on 1,000. I mean, we like, all right, it's time for bed. He like, yeah.
He was so turned up.
Yeah. And then he just crashed out of nowhere.
He did.
But it was so warm, and then the cool air was blowing through the tent, and all the nature sounds.
Yes, like every night, pretty much, I go to bed with my nature sound Spotify playlist, and it was so amazing to just lay there and hear the sounds, like the wind, the animals, the crickets. It felt so peaceful. It was awesome.
Yeah. And that the first night, this is a foreshadowing to what we're going to talk about a little bit later. As we're sleeping so peacefully, I was woken up in the middle of the night. I heard some type of rrr. And so I sit up. I'm like, what in the world is that? So I peek through my tent at the folks on each side of us. Ain't nobody moving. I'm like, okay, these cats, they OG campers. I'm sure if it was an issue, they be up, it had guns out. So
and the dogs that the other people had, they weren't making any noises
the dogs
either.
Didn't make no noise. So I said, okay, there have been mountain lions, just outside of our area, like 30 minutes away from us, where we go get our hair cut and hair done. But I was like, okay, they said ain't no mountain lions here. They said the biggest animal there might be is feral pigs, but they just eat food. They don't attack people. So I was like, okay, I can go back to sleep. I went back to peaceful sleep.
Yeah. It was definitely peaceful. I feel like that was like some of the best sleep I have ever had on an air mattress. That wind, man, like when I came back, I was like, I just want to sleep outside. I wanted to just take my little, the little sleeping bag and just roll up, because it was just, I did not realize that sleeping outside would be so peaceful.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm so grateful, thank God, for a beautiful home and protection from the elements. But like just being in nature, oh, I just love it. So
You remember Pop said he was gonna take that extra
oh
sleeping
my
bag and
gosh.
sleep outside.
Yes, my dad. So in my whole preparation, I was buying all this extra stuff. So I had bought 2 different types of sleeping bags because I didn't know which one I wanted. And he was like, "Hey, baby girl, what you gonna do with that extra tent you got or that extra sleeping bag?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm probably gonna return it to the store. You know, I'm gonna decide which one I'm gonna use. I can't open it and use it. I gotta make the decision." He's like, "Oh, well, I mean, I'll buy it off of you." I'm like, "What? You can just have it, Dad, if you want the sleeping bag. You don't have to buy it." He's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm going to unroll that and lay out in the backyard and go to sleep." I was like, And at that point, I was thinking that was weird. I was like, my daddy tripping. Like, why are you, and got this big old house, you going to go sleep in the backyard, just out here. Man, when we came back, I was like, "Daddy, when you want to sleep outside? This is awesome."
But we can't always join those 2 sleeping bags together and have a queen sleeping bag.
I don't want to join. I like you. No, I want my own sleeping
I
space.
thought that'd be romantic.
I don't want to be romantic. I just want to be in my own sleeping bag.
We can send JoJo away.
No, I don't.
Whatever.
I just want my own. See, I don't even think I used that one. I think
You didn't.
You said that, and I was like, nope, I'll just stick with this other sleeping bag.
Moving on. Day 2.
Oh.
So, needless to say, on day 1, evening 1, we did not realize a major error when camping that we were making.
And it was not in any of the blogs.
Yeah.
They did not prep us for this.
So, whenever you take your first camping trip, when you get there, take all your stuff out. When you get there.
Out of the car.
Out of the car. When it's nighttime, put your cooler back into the car. And depending on where you're at, cover it up. I got a whole article I just looked up right before we started this podcast about what to do to keep your food safe. We'll get to that a little bit later. But take all your stuff out because we were in and out, getting this, getting that, getting this, getting that, putting this back, putting that back.
Forgetting stuff. Just didn't even like it was to us like kind of like a storage. Like, oh, I forgot the spray. Oh, let me go grab it. Oh, I forgot,
Yeah. And so when we woke up the next day to run to the campsite store, the battery was dead. The car wouldn't start. And so we didn't go to Hammock City. We went to the campsite next to us.
So I need to talk about this because we were in the car. First of all, we already leaving the campsite and leaving our stuff there. So I'm already got this little like, is our stuff going to be safe? Like, is somebody going to try to mess with our stuff? Or they going to try to put something in our stuff? I'm already a little leery. But I get up. I'm like, okay. When in Rome, you know? So we in the car, we're ready. And the only reason why we were going to the camp store, because I had everything, but we wanted to get some eggs, remember?
Oh, yeah.
We wanted to get some eggs, and we had already planned to go get eggs and I think like ice, which we didn't even, did we get ice? I don't know.
We did get ice.
So we wanted to get eggs and ice. So, because we got there too late the night before. So we get in the car, and he starts the car, or tries to start the car, and the car does not start. It gave that little, yes. I knew it wasn't going to work. Like that was that sound like it don't matter what you do right now, no matter how many times you turn this, we're not starting. And I was just sitting there thinking, once again, we out here looking like we unprepared and we were.
We were going to be the first ones to go in the horror movie.
Oh my gosh. I got my son out here. We got the medium tent. Now the car don't start. This is embarrassing. Making us look bad.
We was looking green in the mug out there.
Looking stupid. That's what we was looking.
Newbies.
Stupid.
So.
And I knew I wasn't going to go talk to nobody.
I went and talked to the gentleman. And they.
Thank God for them and their grace.
Yeah, and our car click a couple times. And,
and they would not even look at us.
Yeah.
So Dishon is worried about like, oh, let me try to start the car. I'm looking at the people that are right on the other side. I know they hear it, and they sitting there like this.
Oh, I had to put my mask on to go talk to him too. I forgot about that. Yeah, so that was, we're out in the open air, so we weren't wearing masks when we were at our campsite because we're like, the wind and all that stuff is going to blow any COVID away. But when I went over to their campsite, I put my mask on. I said, excuse me, car's not starting. You mind giving us a jump? So they gave us a jump. Car started back up.
But wait, when you went over there, first of all, you are so nice. I'm watching his, and I know you probably felt, well, in my mind, I was sitting there like, aw, as a man, you got to swallow your pride.
Oh, yeah.
Go on over there because you got to make it happen for your family. And I'm just sitting in the car with Joey. Mm-hmm. And you walked over there, you know, his whole happy-go-lucky, hey, little face. I couldn't hear the conversation, but you just had that nice little, I am a friendly black guy. Hey, look.
Is that what I sound like?
That's just like the little face you had was, hey, I'm unassuming. Don't be alarmed. We're Negro. Like, that's how you kind of look. You had your mask on. They didn't have masks.
They did.
He didn't put a mask on to talk to you. Mm-mm. And what else? He didn't have a mask, but he had a nice accessory. What accessory did he have?
What did he have?
What was he wearing on his head? You forgot?
Did he have a Confederate flag on?
No. Oh, Lord, no. Thank God. But something close.
Was
he had on that MAGA hat.
He did?
Yes.
What?
Are you serious?
I totally forgot that.
He had on a MAGA hat.
We should have wore our MAGA hats.
I told you. Remember, I was like, we should have brought MAGA hats so we could slide on in there.
We don't own MAGA hats, but we were going.
We don't own MAGA hats, but
that's neither here nor there. Maybe we'll cover politics one day, but
oh my gosh. So anyway, he had on a Make America Great Again, as if it was great to begin with, hat. And Dishon went over and he talked to that man. I mean, and thank God. Because in my head, you know how sometimes you watching a movie and you see a scene play out and a person be like, just imagine you talking to him and then you be like, man, forget you. And you flick the hat. Those kind of scenes are playing out in my mind. But of course, that's not what happened.
You straight play higher learning in your head.
Man, I had so many things happening in my head. I was just like, it's best for me to just sit in the car and be quiet.
So they drove over with a big truck, jumped us. We got our car started. Then we were scared to turn the car off.
We were.
But once we got back, we unloaded everything and put it in JoJo's tent because he didn't need it no more. So his tent was the storage for that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And low-key, even though they never smiled the whole time, that man looked mean. He looked like just mean and scary to me. Yeah. But I was thanking God for them because he could have said no.
He could have.
And the other people on the other side with the little tarp city, I don't know that they would have had the tools to jump us because they did not look as well equipped as the MAGA family.
They was roughing it. They had fishing poles made out of reeds.
They did.
They broke that off in the woods.
Yep.
And started going fishing. And I don't think their St. Bernard had seen many people like us because whenever we went to the bathroom.
In the middle of the night when we had to pee.
Oh, yeah. That was horrible.
I forgot about that.
I mean, roll over Beethoven.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Now, that was scary, too. Mm-hmm. I was like, we getting a dog. Yeah. And I don't even want a dog. But I was like, we getting a dog so we can come and have us a little something to bark, too. Right. Because that was scary. Mm-hmm. You trying to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. It's super dark, which I love. There was no light pollution like in the city. But it was scary to walk to that bathroom. And I had to walk by myself because he was with Joey in the tent. And I hear that dog barking all while I'm walking straight past. Ooh, Jesus.
And whenever I have to pee at night, I don't like any extra light because it'll wake me up. So I was walking to the bathroom in the pitch black.
No.
I was just like, I ain't going to step on no snakes. I'm good.
Yeah. I had a flashlight. I had my headlamp. And I didn't care who I was waking up. It was on high beams. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. So the next day after, we got to talk about brunch because we had brunch before, right? Or we going to talk about that later? We're going to talk about our activities or?
I think we should talk about our activities.
Okay. So.
We ate.
We ate. And we went hiking. So we got turned on to hiking 2019.
Yeah, that's when we really started hiking. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's a whole nother episode.
Right. Oh, Gatlinburg, we miss you. We'll be back.
We do.
Maybe sooner than later.
Yes, this year.
COVID trip. We'll see you soon.
Okay.
But so we went hiking up a trail called Mudlick Mountain at the Sam A. Baker State Park. And we were so adventurous, we decided to walk to the hike. Yeah. So I think altogether it was about a 6-mile
Yeah.
trip. But this was
And JoJo did really well.
He did.
Like, his little legs, he'd just be moving with us.
He walked the whole way there. And then when we got to the mountain, we got to the bottom of the mountain, I put him on my back. We had this ergo baby carrier that he's just barely able to fit in nowadays. It's probably time to toss it at this point.
I mean, I think he's like it's 45 pounds.
Yeah.
And he's still within the weight limit.
Yeah, he complains so much now. He'd be like, "Daddy, you're sweaty.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm smashed." I'm like, "Well, get out and walk then." But we put him in the carrier because this was our steepest hike ever.
And it would not stop. Like, I feel like I was expecting, when it was talking about how steep it was, I was expecting, okay, the overall elevation would be high, but there would be like, you go up and then it'll kind of level out, catch your breath. No,
we went straight up the mountain.
Straight up.
I'm going up on the rough side.
Yeah.
Of the mountain.
And it was the rough side because it wasn't a paved trail, which is fine. We're used to that, but it was a lot of rocks.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like that was the most rockiest trail we had ever done too, especially for it to be going up. So I'm thinking like, again, those movies where, you know, the person loses their balance and you see how the rocks fly away. Man, I felt like if we were to fall, we was gonna roll all the way down.
Oh yeah, I prefer a dirt trail. I love trail running and hiking, but yeah, all them rocks. I mean, it was big rocks, little rocks, a bunch of gravel, and you slip sometimes. You feel the rocks moving under your feet.
And I had on my Tevas.
Yeah, you had your toes out.
I had my sandals on because
now you know you got to tell people what Tevas are.
Okay, so I am all about, I don't even know if I should say this, but I am all about feeling like, look, white folks are not going to get a chance to have all of this good stuff and keep it to themselves.
I had no clue where you were going.
I just feel like white people be having stuff and we don't tap into it because sometimes it look a little buddy.
New kicks.
Okay. So I had talked to a coworker. I was like, hey, what kind of shoes are those? And so she was really talking to me about the shoes she had on, and I was all over Africa in these shoes, and I wore these shoes, and I was like, okay. I'm like, all right, the terrain and things that she was talking about, cool. I didn't want those. I think she had like Kings or no, Chacos.
Chacos. Those are ones everybody knows.
So everybody knows Chacos. So I didn't get those, but I wanted some trail sandals because when we go hiking in the summertime, especially, my feet get hot. Like just even if I have a breathable shoe on, and they make them. So I was like, I want to experience them. I love my Tevas. I got the nice black ones. I can't remember. They're like the Universal Hurricane XL2 or something, whatever. Okay. I think that's what they are.
That's the Jordans of the Tevas.
I don't think it is. I don't know.
And the Air Force Ones of the Tevas?
I don't know what they are.
Air Force Tevas.
All I know is they are amazing. And usually when we're hiking, I don't have any problems. I mean, they give me support. They are super good with grip. This is not sponsored, but Teva, if you want to holler at your girl, I do have in my eye on another pair that I would like.
Hey, I'll break out my Shaq feet if you going to give me some free Tevas.
I want you to get some because I think they will be really good and supportive for your feet. So anyway, I brought my Tevas and I didn't realize it was going to be rocks the whole way. So I was having, not only am I going up this like steep mountain, but I'm also in sandals. And the rocks were getting in my shoe and in my little toes. And it was not the best experience. Oh, no. I didn't know it was going to happen.
But we made it to the top, y'all.
We made it.
Yeah, we got to see the fire tower. And normally when it's not COVID, you can actually go up into the fire tower. But we couldn't do that because...
Oh, really?
I believe so. I think I read that on their website.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
But it was closed. But we saw a bunch of condors flying around. I mean, their wingspan is ridiculous.
Crazy.
These birds look like they got about a 10, 15-foot wingspan. So I wasn't like, are they going to try and eat us? But
we had so much fun. When I got to the top, y'all, I took my shirt off. I was like, look, I don't care. I'm not about to be body shamed out here. I got my little sports bra on and my leggings. I'm hot. I mean, but it was such a great experience.
Yeah, it was. It was. We had to celebrate and eat our snacks and refuel.
Oh, yes.
Because the climb down wasn't just an easy going, just coasting down it. We had to make sure we ain't fall on the way down, too.
Right.
Yeah, so that was nice. And a little family, they met us up there when we got up there, and we talked for a little bit, and then they went back down. So that was a beautiful hike.
That was a good one.
And then JoJo, once we got to the bottom of the mountain, he walked all the way back.
He did. He just needed that break. He was not going to make it up that mountain.
Yeah.
That would have been way too much.
Yeah.
But
and you would think about dipping your feet in the stream so you could cool off.
I wanted to put my feet in that stream. Looked so cool.
Yeah.
But wasn't it like that I couldn't figure out how to get to it.
The embankment was super steep. It was like 10
Yeah.
feet tall.
But there were people down there.
Yeah. So
I don't know if they came from the other side. I don't know what these people did.
So there were people on the opposite side when we first got down to the bottom of the mountain. The stream was on across the street. So the mountain was on one side of the street. The trail we walked to get to the mountain was on the other side, and the stream was on the other side of that trail. So there was people on the opposite side of the river. So we walked down, and it was a mile back to our camp. We got about halfway to our camp, and there's a little parking spot where you're supposed to go into the stream. And I was like, all right, babe, you want to go right here? We can go right here, and you can dip your feet in. We can get JoJo in there. But there was a family with this little bitty baby. That baby couldn't have been no more than 2. And the baby was in a floaty, like the floaties that you put babies in the pool. And that baby was having a fit. I mean,
wilding out. I feel like they were trying to make that baby swim. I don't even think the baby was 2.
Oh, no.
I think they were trying to make that baby like swim or something.
Yeah, but the baby looked safe, but that baby was not happy. And the parents was in the water with the baby, and we just like,
It was messing up my whole peaceful vibe.
Yeah. So we kept on going.
Yeah. I'm not anti-baby, just not in that scenario.
Yeah. Babies hollering ain't the fun part about babies.
Yeah. So, obviously after a hike.
Is that when we bathed after the hike?
It's not, but that makes me think of after a hike, you need to bathe.
Yeah.
So we took showers. Let's talk about the shower situation. I'm going to be real because I thought we were roughing it. So I was prepared to use my gallons and just...
A little bird bath. We ain't going to call it what other people call it.
I was prepared to just, hit the essentials. But Dishon was all like, oh no, there's a shower station up here. Let's go up there. I'm like, okay. So I pack all of my things, and I wish I had brought like a shower caddy, like old school, like dorm life. I didn't, but I had like all of my things in like my bag. And I get to my spot, and thank God I asked Dishon to take care of Joseph. I would not have made it. I wouldn't go back to this campsite because of the showers. Now, didn't you say you think it's going to be like that everywhere?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe I'll be more prepared next time. But this was just too much for me. There's this little thin curtain. You go into the bathroom, and then you go around the corner for the showers. So, mind you, it's COVID. So, I think I was in there by myself at first. I was. So, I picked a stall where, like, nobody would be around me. Where I thought it was like a set of 4. So, I'm kind of like in a third one thinking, maybe I'll be all right. I should have got to the end, but I think it was something weird with that one. Man, I'm in there already struggling because I don't want to touch anything. I don't want to put my stuff down. There's no even like spot for me to put my stuff. So like even if I washed off the surface, you can sit your bag here. So I'm trying to hold all of these things. My wet towel, my dry towel, my soap, my clothes, everything. I ended up taking my jean jacket off and I put my items, I stuffed them in the sleeve of my jean jacket.
Bless your heart. You didn't tell me this part.
That's what I ended up doing. I stuffed like my dry towel in there, and then I stuffed like other stuff like in my jean jacket. So then that way I was just like holding the jacket. So I'm like trying to take my little shower, and I'm managing well enough. But then this lady comes in. Thank God she skipped the shower next to me and went to the end. She was hacking up a lung. She started coughing. I'm like, oh, Jesus. She got to have COVID.
Was she coughing into her elbow?
How I'm supposed to know that? It didn't sound like it. It did not. It sounded like that cough was traveling. Man, I got up out of there so quick.
Did you rinse?
Yeah, I did. I think at that point I was almost done anyway, but it didn't matter. I would have used them gallons that we had stored. I got up out of there so quick. And then like all I'm thinking is, I got to get out of here. She was coughing and I was thinking about the way she came. So she came from the bathroom side. So I'm like, she already coughed in that area. So that's contaminated. She coughing in the stall. She didn't cough in front of, I don't know how I was thinking like this. She didn't cough in front of my stall. There was another door right next to the shower side. I didn't know where that door led. I'm not good with directions. But I was like, I can't go back through the contaminated way. So I went through that side door and just walked around the trail until I finally figured out how to get back to the room or to the tent. That was so scary. She coughed so much.
That is hilarious. And Joseph and I, meanwhile, we're in our bathroom together, and we're both in our bathroom just having us a good shower. The water was warm.
It was.
It wasn't like, we was out there taking a bath in the river. The water was warm. We're in our shower, but we're trying not to touch nothing because it's COVID. So we both there in our flip-flops, and I'm having to have the humbling experience of my 4-year-old bathing with me. And 4-year-olds, they notice everything about you when they in the bath with you. But that's another discussion. But he did great. He wasn't touching stuff. I didn't have to fuss at him. I set my little towel, my soap holder. I set it on the bar. I did.
I didn't have a bar. I didn't have anything.
Maybe we went in the handicap stall.
I don't remember having anything.
But I threw my towels over the bar too, the shower curtain bar, because I was just like, man, whatever.
See, you be roughing it.
Oh yeah. But we managed to get clean, and both of us managed to put our clothes on in that little shower thing without getting our clothes wet. So, but I think that's just kind of some of that hunting shower experience. I think some of, going on camping trips in school or going hunting with my dad, you had that communal shower thing where it's not one big shower room, but, everybody showers in the same place. So you got to deal with the awkwardness and all that.
Yeah. The next day, I took my quote-unquote shower. You all right there?
Yeah.
You got COVID?
I don't know.
Boy, stop playing.
Been tested in a minute.
That's shine.
We've been at the house.
Don't do that, honey.
We've been at the house. I ain't been nowhere.
All right.
I'm vaxxed up, y'all. I'm good.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm Gucci.
The next day, I took my shower in the bathroom. I didn't care how many people were waiting outside. I went to the single stall. I sprayed everything down with Lysol.
This is the bathroom for just using the restroom.
I don't care what it was for. I used it for showering and washing up.
I did that too. It was terrible.
It was fine. I felt safe. Nobody was going to be in there next to me coughing. I preferred it.
But it was one of them sinks where you couldn't, it'd be one thing if you could just leave the water running and know it's going to heat up. It's one of them sinks where you turn it for it to run and then it flip right back and you turn it again and it flip right back. I'm like, man,
it's okay.
This is
Soap it up.
I'm up here balancing like a flamingo trying to wash myself, and then I ain't go back to that shower again.
No.
I like the water to hit everywhere.
I let the water hit where it needed to hit. We were outside anyway. You were going to stink. You're just going to have to enjoy it.
Yeah. I guess it's better to stink in nature, but we'll get to that too. Food?
I really don't have much to say about the food. Like I bought a camping stove, which we thought we were going to use, and we did end up using it for dinner one night or breakfast.
For brunch.
But honestly, being complete beginners, whatever. I feel like it was just too much. The learning curve.
You did great, honey.
Thank you, but I feel like it was like sticking and it was burning and it was just hard to, because the wind was blowing and I had the wind. It was like a little wind shield to, so that the the fire doesn't go out, but it was cooking unevenly.
Yeah.
And so
I wonder, was it more them pots than the stove?
I think it was.
Them pots were trash.
They were super trash.
Matter of fact, I think they're in the trash now.
What?
Maybe they're not. I think we may have saved something, but some of them, like the stuff, it just got all tarnished, and they may be. I think they're in the mud room right now. I don't think we threw all of them away.
I didn't throw anything away.
You didn't have to do cleanup after either.
No, I did clean up.
No, I'm talking about.
Oh, you know why I didn't clean up. Anyway, so we'll get to that. This is a long episode. People probably not even listening no more.
It's all right.
Okay.
We got some folks that's probably at work and they're going to keep on listening because they, need something to do.
So real quick, food. I think for dinner we did hot dogs and chips 2 nights in a row, and then s'mores. I originally wanted to cook chili. And I really wanted, I think that would have been a really easy camping meal, honestly. But when we had the whole situation with the brunch and then the dishes, I just decided not to worry about it. And Joey was really excited about having hot dogs because that's not something we eat regularly.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, we can eat hot dogs 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
Low key, did we have it for dinner and lunch 2 days in a row? Because what did we eat for lunch?
I think did we make sandwiches? What did we eat?
I know I had mad snacks. Remember I made us them snack bags?
You did.
See, if you go on road trips with me anyway, you already know I prepare the snacks very well.
Snacks on snacks.
I do. So everybody had their own bag, and it was labeled each day, and I put snacks in for everybody. So I feel like we were eating like heavy snacks.
Yeah.
So.
And I think brunch was so late that by the time we got back from the hike, it was like dinner time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, night 2.
Are y'all ready for this? This is the part. Oh my gosh.
Now, let me preface it. Night 2 started out just as beautiful,
just as
peaceful as night 1. I mean, we got all cozy in the tent. The wind was blowing over us. I refilled the mattresses because some of the air had leaked out. So
we had done puzzles. Joey and I had done puzzles.
Oh, okay.
Where were you at when we were doing puzzles? I don't know where you were. But we had done like puzzles. We had read some books.
Oh, I think I had to run back to the store to get something. I can't remember.
You went to go get more firewood.
That's what it was, yeah.
Yep, we decided, hey, let's make our fire a little bit big. We had enough, but we wanted to, make it a little bit more robust.
Go out with a bang.
Yeah, last night, So that's what you did. So we really did have a nice night. And we made a big fire that night. And we really let it just go out.
Yeah. And then we all fell asleep. And Kim was knocked out.
When I tell you that sleep was so good, because I already knew, okay, this is our last night. And when we first did the trip, we were like, should we do 1 night or 2? We're new at this. Well, let's go for 2 nights. So I'm like, okay, this is our last night. Oh, I got to really just enjoy it.
Yeah. So Kim's knocked out. Joseph is knocked out. I was knocked out until I started hearing. And then I started hearing.
I heard the rustling. I thought the rustling was the sound of the wind blowing through the leaves. It was fall. The leaves make that certain rustle in the fall. I legit remember waking up being like, doesn't that sound so blissful? And I went back to sleep.
Yeah. And meanwhile.
And this night I was sleeping close to the door.
The tent door.
Because the night before.
You were hot.
I was hot.
Yeah, and she just runs hot. I believe the Like family has Alaskan in them or whatever. That's not a race, but you have some type of Eskimo blood that you're always running hot.
Oh, yeah.
You get it from your dad, your brother.
Yeah.
It was like that. So as I'm hearing these sounds, I have to kind of climb over Kim.
And I feel you climbing over me. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I grab my headlamp, and the tent door, if you never had a tent, there is the opaque part of the door where people can't see you, and then there's a screen part of the door where the bugs can't get in. So I unzip the opaque part, and I see a raccoon. And the raccoon is bashing the potatoes that were left from brunch. that were inside the cooler, which I mistakenly left in front of the tent.
Right in front of the tent
Not
door.
open, but closed. Those doggone opposable thumbs, them boogers, opened that cooler up, and he was bashing the potatoes. Just. So I saw the raccoon, and I shone my little light on him. I said, "Get out of here!"
And I was still asleep.
Yeah.
I was still asleep until I heard you say, "Get on out of here! Get on out of here!" And I was like, "Oh no!
And then
Time to be alert."
The raccoon looked at me and said,
I heard that.
and I was like, "Ooh!" But then he ran away. I'm like, okay, I punked him. He kind of punked me, but he the one that ran. I couldn't run because I'm in the tent. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I got to get out the tent. Kim is still asleep, y'all.
I'm not asleep. I was up.
You were, oh yeah. You were like, because you asked me where you going, and I was like, it's raccoons outside. So I had to encourage my soul. So I ain't got the gat in the car or packing on me. So I got my headlamp and I come out the tent with this, y'all. I'm like, I'm ready for the raccoons. Now, mind you, I don't want no hand-to-hand with a raccoon. I don't want a knife to paw with a raccoon, but I came out with that knife because I guess that made me feel like I was a little bit bolder.
You were out there with that knife.
With the knife. If the raccoon got within knife range, I was going to be messed up. That's why I need my hatchet. Look, let me show you this hatchet, man. Look, let me...
Is this allowed to show? Are we allowed to show this kind of thing?
I don't know.
On YouTube? Are they going to flag it?
I'm going to show it, but I'm going to... Look, this is what I got. Now, at least this, I feel like I can get a little bit closer. Let me put it back in the sheets.
You got you got some distance between the blade and your hand versus your little knife.
Mm-hmm. But after I got outside the tent, I see the raccoon. So our tent was probably about 15, 20 feet from the brush. I see the raccoons lingering in the brush. So I go into JoJo's tent and I grab the hiking stick, which this is a hiking stick, y'all. This thing, you can't tell. It's long, but it's thin. This is just some metal that's like hollow. I could probably whap them one good time and it's probably going to break. It's not meant for beating people with. It's for hiking, putting your weight on it,
This was so bad, y'all. My whole blissful, peaceful experience.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Kim talking to me through the tent. She like, are they still out there? I said, I think so. She said, what you gonna do? My brain is racing. I don't do well with fast decisions. So I'm just like,
he does not.
No.
He does not. So I'm over here like, man, we got to figure out what the plan is. We don't have time to be deliberating. We need a quick action plan right now.
Yeah. And I was like, babe, even if we put the food away, I think they might come back looking for more food.
Oh, yeah.
She was like, you think we need to go? I said, yeah, I think we need to go.
That was me making a quick action decision. We about to pack up. We rolling out.
So I start, packing up stuff.
Because he had gotten into more than just the potatoes.
Oh yeah. So we had all food in that cooler. The chocolate from the s'mores was gone. Gone. The buns from the hot dogs was gone. He was bashing the potatoes. That bag was still sitting there. I scared him away from that. But as I'm out here investigating and everything, Kim finally comes out. And then I
had to get myself together.
In the woods, we hear the sound that I heard the other night. It was, I'm like, they fighting over that chocolate.
They fighting over that food.
And so,
ooh, Lord.
So finally, I'm like, look, I need you to watch my back. We got to pack all this stuff up.
Yeah.
So this is probably the fastest.
And now this was like, what, 3 a.m.?
3 in the morning.
3 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
3 in the morning, pitch black.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the fastest you have ever moved.
Mm-hmm.
I was proud of him.
Yeah.
Because Dishon is slow as molasses in the wintertime.
I'm deliberate.
Slow as molasses in the wintertime. And I was like, oh my goodness. And I think I even had gave you like a pep talk, like, we got to go. We need you to pack. You got to move fast. We're not going to get everything perfect. Just throw it in there, roll the stuff up, because he also likes stuff to be just so. Mm-hmm. We ain't got time for that. We're going to get this packed up. We're going to throw this stuff in a car, and we're going to hit the road. We're going to be all right.
Yeah. And we managed to pack everything up, get Joseph in the car and in his car seat without waking him up.
Oh my gosh. But while you're packing, I am the bodyguard. I'm on standby. So he was like, I need you to watch my back. So at first, when you first said it, I'm like, okay, I'm going to stay in the tent and I'm just going to look around. He was like, no, I need you to come out of the tent and watch my back. So I'm like, okay. I come out of the tent, I get my shoes on, I come out, and I got like the headlamp on, and I think I had like a stick.
I gave you the hiking stick.
I had the hiking stick. So I'm out here. I'm thinking I'm really doing something. And the crazy thing is, so the raccoons, what color are their eyes? Like green or?
It reflects in the light.
Oh, my Lord. So I'm out here. The brush behind the tent where Dishon is packing everything up, because like he would not have been able to do it. They would have come back. The brush behind the tent, you just see eyes just in the darkness. Eyes just keep opening and popping around. It was so scary. So I only had the one light. So I was holding the light in one area. Then I would move it. And then there would be some eyes over here.
Oh, yeah. They got the whole squad on us.
They had the whole crew just waiting for us. It was so scary. We were scared of them raccoons.
Yeah. So we got the car packed up, threw the trash out. Joseph was in the car, had the car running for probably about the whole 20 to 40 minute time it took us to pack up, because we ain't want another mishap.
Exactly.
Opening them doors, going back and forth. We ain't finna be stranded.
I feel like we only took like 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was fast.
It was legit fast. Legit, we were moving.
And I don't think we really threw anything away.
Because we were doing a really good job of like keeping our campsite clean. We didn't have trash everywhere. Like the little trash bag we did have, we had it like wrapped up high, and we had put that already in the dumpster, before we went to bed. So we did everything right, except you don't leave your cooler sitting outside the tent. That was like the most basic mistake you could ever make. Like that was like camping 101, do not do, and we did it.
Yeah, and we didn't look it up. It was paw prints all on the cooler.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was a mess.
But the crazy thing is that when we got back and I started rereading blogs and stuff, I was like, I feel like I recall seeing this.
Yeah.
It's everywhere now.
Yeah, so I looked this up, y'all, because I wanted to make sure I knew for our next camping trip. So I'm just going to give y'all some points from this RV Life website that I found, specifically about keeping raccoons out your food. Number 1, properly store away all food and drinks. It talks about using bear-proof containers, even for raccoons. Because them thumbs, man, the thumbs, you don't realize how strong they are. You don't want to get into it with a raccoon. They are mean. So use bear-proof containers, coolers that can lock, or they say put it in your car also. Don't leave your pet bowls out. If you got dogs and you take your dogs camping, don't leave their bowls out. Clean up your trash and food scraps. Throw your trash out into the dumpster.
Oh, there's a picture.
Oh, yeah, my bad. Use unscented toiletries. Look, I like the rain-scented dial soap. I shouldn't have brought that there.
Oh, I didn't realize you brought that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say you're supposed to use like biodegradable soap.
Yeah, we have biodegradable for washing the dishes, but I didn't think about my bath soap.
Yeah.
Yep. Which on a random note,
leave no trace.
Yeah, in the scurry to get everything put away, I had my body soap and I had my face soap. My face soap, I use black soap, and y'all know black soap is expensive. My little soap dispenser dish with the black soap fell out open, and the black soap fell in the dirt.
Did you use it still?
I threw that out. Maybe that's what fell. Did my brush fall? I don't think my brush fell. Maybe it was the black soap, and I threw that out. I thought I was going to wipe it off. I was like, man, forget this. It's dead.
It's a casualty.
But they say there are DIY deterrents. You could spread black pepper, cinnamon, chili peppers around your camp to keep them away. Or you can use sprays.
Oh, I don't know if we should. Is that like okay, though?
I think like, I don't know.
Like, are they?
They have natural rodent defense spray, is what they say. And I went on another site that was talking about bear spray and stuff like that. I don't know if we ever going camping where there's bears at.
No, we're not.
Bears are super scary.
No, I'm not. I'm definitely not doing that.
Bears are faster, stronger.
No, yeah, they're going to kill us.
They climb better. They swim better.
Yeah. If we was out here getting punked by some raccoons, you know we ain't ready to go swimming. I mean, camping. With bears.
And definitely not mountain lions. Did you ever watch the video with that dude in the
You
mountain
getting
lion?
scarier and scarier. You making me not want to go back camping.
Watch that?
No.
Oh, babe, you
I
gotta look
don't
it
know.
up. There's this video where this dude went hiking or jogging, and he saw some baby mountain lions. And he's like, "Oh, it's so cute!" And so he's filming it. And then the mama mountain lion came
And that
out,
was stupid.
and he was backpedaling for like 15, 20 minutes, and the mama was following him.
Oh my!
And I mean, she was getting big on him. She was rah, rah. And you saw how the mountain lions were when we was at the zoo just the other day.
Yeah, no, that's no.
Yeah,
we gonna stick to places where our biggest predator area is just some rodents. Just some raccoons.
Jeez, but raccoons are some big rodents. They'll beat up a dog if you ain't careful.
Yeah. So, it was quite the experience, and we got in the car.
Oh, but before we got in that car, that old discriminating dog didn't say nothing till we was about to leave.
Ain't that the truth?
That dog.
Those raccoons had to have walked past that dog.
Or he could have smelled it at least.
He at least knew that they were, and it wasn't like it was one or two. Like it was a lot of raccoons.
That dog was over there like, man, I ain't saying nothing.
But he sure had something to say when I was going to the bathroom.
And as we loading up and walking past that area, he,
yeah,
man, shut up, dog.
Oh my! And I was sitting there like, why didn't that dog say anything that whole time? That was crazy. But man, when I tell you we retold this story to ourselves like 4 times on the road back, that's the only thing we talked about. And then we vowed that we were never going to say anything to anyone.
Yeah, this is our first time telling this story to anyone.
Our first time.
And we pulled back up 4 a.m.
Probably like 5.
5 a.m. We had gotten Starbucks at this point.
When we pulled back up, because we were staying with my mom and dad before we bought our house. When we pulled back up, if my daddy opened the door and they saw us, they were just looking like, we know something happened. We know something happened.
Right. They're like, how was the trip? You guys are back early. We didn't expect you this early.
They know we don't wake up that early. No. We were like, oh, it was great. It was so peaceful. Oh, boy. Joey still don't know.
To this day, don't y'all tell him. He still don't know why we left so early that night.
He was like, I didn't get to spend my whole night in the tent. I woke up and we were home. Oh, it was time to go. And that was nothing but the grace of God that he slept through it.
Yeah.
Because I could not deal with trying to fend off the raccoons and watching Dishon plus dealing with Joseph.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That was crazy.
That was crazy. But there will be a next time.
Oh, absolutely. We're going back.
We will not be defeated.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Like as soon as the weather, I don't know if we can go in the spring just because my allergies are already ridiculous. And Joseph has allergies too.
True.
So I don't know that the spring will work. I'm sure to be super hot in the summer, but I don't know.
It's all right.
Yeah, I'm like summer and fall, we will go camping again.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to Sam A. Baker. And then like I went on a deep dive reading about Sam A. Baker. The governor, he was a governor of Missouri.
Really?
A Republican governor back in the day.
Aren't they all Republican?
Who?
In Missouri.
Oh, yeah, this is Missouri. Silly me. But I don't think I would ever want to go back to that. If we go back to that park, I want to try the other side. Remember there were like 2 campsites?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that other side, I would like to try that one. But honestly, I'd rather just try a different park altogether.
Yeah.
So, and there was no internet, our phones did not work.
There was no signal. See, we were trying to unplug, but we wanted to at least be able to get out a smoke signal, something.
The only place we had a signal was at the top of the mountain.
We got to the top of the mountain. Kim done called her mom.
I did.
This is our only time getting a signal. It was crazy. We had to go 1,000 feet up in the air to get a signal.
And my battery was dying because I had caught myself trying to take a picture the night before, and I meant to turn my phone off, and I didn't. So my phone was dying, and I had to turn my phone on, call my mom to say, hey, we made it. We're okay. We're on top of this mountain, and that's how come we have signal. But we'll see you tomorrow. Oh, man. It was great, though. Like, I enjoyed the experience. I enjoyed having the experience with you.
I did too, baby. It was beautiful.
Thank you.
That was the first that we got to have together.
It was. And what I really loved too was just my son's excitement. Like seeing him so excited about going camping and the pure, like that joy that children have. That was pretty awesome. So I definitely want to do it again.
Yeah.
Maybe next time we can find a creek we can really put our feet in. And we will prepare better so that we are not attacked.
There we go.
All right, everyone.
Well,
thank you all for listening to this story.
We'll try and keep it shorter next time, but we just had to tell y'all all the deets.
I know. This is the first time us ever sharing it. I think we had to get it off our chest.
I wanted to tell this story so many times, but I was just like, wait for the podcast.
So we'll tell you more about our adventures because we be out here doing some things.
Oh, yeah, we stay adventuring.
Yes, we do. So thank you all for joining, and we hope that you all come back and tune in again. Let us know how you enjoy the podcast. You can give us a rating. We appreciate the 5 stars.
5 stars on iTunes. Yep. Comment on the YouTube videos.
Definitely comment on the YouTube video. We want to know what y'all think. Have you ever been camping before?
I know.
How was it? Did you have
been glamping?
Glamping or blamping?
Yeah. Hamping.
What is hamping?
Wamping?
What?
Hamping, hood camping.
Oh my gosh. That's not a thing.
Okay.
Okay. Hey. I think we should wrap up.
See y'all next time. Thank you for listening to the Good and Well Soul podcast, because at Good and Well Soul, our prayer is that all may go well with you and that you may be in good health as it goes well with your soul. See you next time.
All right. See y'all. Doesn't mean that you don't know what you're doing.
Now we're both rolling. All right.
They see me rolling.
Good and Well Soul episode.
You said we both rolling.
Good and Well Soul episode 2.
Soprano.
I don't be having enough room to clap hard.
Tenor.
Bass clap.
Yeah.